I've always been a teacher and a giver. Ever since I was young, I always had this uncontrollable feeling of just wanting to share things. I never found happiness in possessions. It was always sharing things that I knew.
So Sam, if you're ready, I've got 10 questions for you.
Let's do it.
All right. Question number one. What is your favorite word?
Freedom. Freedom of time, freedom of location, freedom of being able to spend time with whoever you want and doing what you want. Actually, this word actually defined my life because I came from the country of Iran, and our family is Jewish, which is
Mm,
usually a dichotomy.
yeah,
So we had to escape for freedom of religion, and that really kind of was the first, my first meaning of like what is true freedom, and coming to this beautiful country that gives you so much freedom, so much for you to be able to tap into your full potential. That
absolutely.
really is really meaningful. And then once
Absolutely.
I got exposed to the whole online world and be able to kind of build a online business from your laptop, that's when I got exposed to this whole idea of freedom of time, freedom of, again, location, virtual law firm model. So we'll be talking about that today.
Excellent. Very cool. All right. What is your least favorite word?
I think it's a phrase. I want to. Actually, I was talking about this yesterday. Um, People have a lot of wants and needs. However, if the want and need is not tied to a time-based goal, something that doesn't have a very firm specific date attached to it, then it's just a wish list. So every time that you want something or you need to do something, just make sure you have a time little thing attached to it that you will accomplish this at this specific time. Make sure that's in your calendar.
Absolutely. That makes it a goal rather than just a wish, right?
Yep.
Very cool. All right. What turns you on?
Smart people that work smart and not necessarily work more. I'm all about, maximizing your productivity and just kind of scalable and automated systems. And I love people that are able to find big leverages in their life and also in their business.
Very cool. And what turns you off?
Um, People that are that again want to do stuff, but they're one it all. Instead of really focusing down on what would bring them the most results. So it's trying to do everything, a little bit of everything, I would say is the idea.
All right. What sound or noise do you love?
Sound of nothingness. I think a lot of people these days are distracted by so much noise. Obviously, when it comes to being behind our computers, being behind our cell phones, but maximum productivity and maximum like life productivity just comes from you being kind of freed away from that noise and distractions, and so that your true power from within can come out.
Awesome. What sound or noise do you hate?
Noise pollution, just general noise pollution. I hate the sound of city life.
Uh,
But fortunately, I do live in a city. But it's really about finding the times that, throughout the day, that usually there's a less sound, and that's where you can get the most work done.
yep. All right. Question 7. What is your favorite curse word?
Um, I don't have any. I don't have any. Everybody has their own style, whether they should use cuss words or not. But yeah, I don't have any.
Good. No, that's good. All right. Question 8. What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
I've always been a teacher and a giver. Ever since I was young, I always had this uncontrollable feeling of just wanting to share things. I never found happiness in possessions. It was always sharing things that I knew, finding sharing epiphanies and sharing good, powerful lessons that could potentially change people's lives. So I guess being an instructor, teacher, which is kind of
Nice.
basic of what I am these days.
Cool. What profession would you not like to do?
Being a traditional lawyer, sitting behind my desk doing black and white stuff.
Yeah.
Instead, I love being an innovative thinker, being a somebody who kind of approaches things um, as kind of like as a frontier. So yeah, kind of in that role.
Nice. No, perfect. All right. Final question. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Welcome. uh, being able to, not be there just by yourself. Make sure you have good company there.
Absolutely. Good stuff. All right. You are definitely an innovator, and I want to come back and talk about the innovation, how you got your start, how you got into law, how you moved to virtual law, now how you're helping other businesses find that path. So we'll talk about all of that and more right after these messages. So listeners, stick with us. And I'm back with my guest, Sam Mollaei. Thanks again for being on the podcast. I've been excited to talk about this because when we first met and talked online, I was kind of blown away, right? Your use of ClickFunnels. And I want to get into that, but I want to work my way to it. So growing up, did you know you wanted to be a lawyer when you were a kid, or when did that first become a goal for you?
No, not at all. Actually, I had no idea. Never even imagined being a lawyer. Actually, mine was kind of a little bit of peer pressure from my friends in university, and we're in our third year now. We gotta figure out what's the next step. Are you gonna go work? Are you gonna go to grad school? And I started seeing my friends kind of making moves, of applying for or starting to look into studying for the LSATs to go to law school. I'm like, wait a minute, what am I gonna do? At the time, I always felt like I need to continue my education. It wasn't just enough. So I know I had to pick some kind of grad school. So the three choices was medical school, business school, or law school,
Okay.
essentially for me. Just by process of elimination, I basically ended up with law school. And the funny thing is, I didn't know what being a lawyer entailed until I was waiting for my bar results when I was working at a law firm. I'm like, wait a minute, this is what being a lawyer is like. That's when I started having doubts. I'm like, wait, I don't. This is not necessarily exactly what I want to do. But luckily, I was able to do a lot of soul searching and talking to a lot of people, read a lot of books, watch a lot of YouTube videos to be able to create my own path, being an attorney, and kind of being a non-traditional attorney. But no regrets, because actually law school has taught me to be a much better writer. It's
Nice.
given me my communication skills a lot much better, and also gives a lot of authority. I could communicate with people a lot more level playing field with everybody. So yeah, it's been a good thing.
Nice. And so when people think of law firms, they think of the brick and mortar places, but you had a different idea, the virtual law. Talk to me about that. How did that happen?
Yeah, my epiphany came when I read Tim Ferriss's 4 Hour Work Week book. Amazing book. If anybody who's like fascinated by the whole online business model, that really opened up my eyes to the 3 key principles, I like to call it: the virtual law firm model, virtual business model, which is basically running your business from your laptop, not tied to any 9 to 5 schedule. Second was scalable. Scalable usually means that you're able to reach a lot more people without you necessarily doing more work. And third is automation, or automation, which basically means that you're able to create a system for it to run on its own. So you don't necessarily have to go actively go talk to every single client, sign them up, serve the client yourself. Instead, if you can create an automated, scalable, and a virtual kind of business, then you'll be able to create this thing that really grows over time. You'll be able to serve more clients, and it's able to run completely on its own from your laptop. So once I got exposed to these principles, I'm like, amazing. Wait, what if I could apply this to creating my own law firm? So I made a rule for myself: every business decision I would make from that point forward had to check off those 3. If it wasn't scalable, let's just say if somebody would ask me to go on a coffee meeting with them, I would decline. Sorry, that's not scalable. Virtual, if I had to meet people in person, sorry, I can't meet with you. I can meet with you on Zoom possibly. So every decision had to align with those, and that's where really led me to get about a 3 or 4 year head start before the pandemic happened, to be able to apply these virtual law firm model principles to my own law firm. And then once the pandemic hit, unfortunately, people had no choice but to run their law firm like that. But luckily for me, I had a couple of year head start to be able to now go teach this to and share this with other lawyers.
Nice.